And every time I have hunted topics down, I have found that to be true. The love of money becomes the root of all evil. I still hold to that one. Tom Mullen, his morals come from the market. They come from capitalism. They come from money. It's the love of money. So that's why so many people, especially the atheists, are just absorbed and consumed with economics. That's all they want to talk about. Okay, I've had other people that have addressed others. I can't even remember the names of the different people they've addressed. Who addressed them on some of these topics. They don't even want to talk about it. Economics, like economics professors and things like that. They don't even want to talk about it. I'm sorry, that's a general. It's a general statement. I don't have the material right here with me to bring it up. I'll probably have to do that some other time as we go through some other. I'll go through other topics. We're not going to continue on with this book anymore after this. But that's the bottom line. What they want to do. They just want to discuss economics all the time. Okay. Well, I'm about done with this book. All he does is all the basic premises that I discussed in the earlier episodes. He runs through every single chapter. That's why your premise you cannot screw up. Just like I said in one of my earlier episodes, I said you cannot screw up the premise. And he's done that. I've got marks all over the front of this thing, and I'm going to use this as a primary example to show people what the enemies of liberty are saying, because he's definitely one of them. And I know he's not going to like it when I say it, and I know there's a bunch of Tom Mullen groupies out there that are definitely not going to like me saying that. Well, are you guys trying to fight, because you like Tom Mullen and you think he's the leader that's supposed to take us somewhere, or are you fighting to find the truth? Well, that's a question for everybody personally. I can't answer that for people. All I try to do is I'm for truth and against error, and this is error. And it's not just error. Tom Mullen is refusing to correct it. Refusing. Now, let me get to his letter in here that he sent me when I had been asking him to do this. Now, he won't respond to any more of this. He's not going to put anything out in public. What he did state in here was that he's hoping that these videos, he says, well, maybe these will sell more copies for me. You see, his mentality is, it is not about the truth. It's not about getting the truth out. It's about how much money he's going to make from his book. And that's exactly the problem with this. That's exactly the problem with most people today, is that they're not concerned about truth. They're not concerned about what right and wrong is. They're concerned about how much money they make and how many things I get to have. Most of the time when atheists are arguing about why they're right and the New World Order is wrong, they will not come out and state the differences between right and wrong. They just say, well, I want this and I want that. And it's a bunch of 3-year-olds saying, I want, I want, I want. That is the problem. That's the exact problem why the government, people think that the government is just out to plunder everything. Not all of them are. A lot of them they honestly think they're doing the right thing to save the country and to save the world, because they have this philosophy of evolution and atheism and humanism stuck in their brain. And that's the problem. So, first of all, Tom Mullen is in this thing. He's complaining that I didn't come out and state all. He says you didn't, get to anything of substance in the first 5 minutes. That's because, does he want to believe I didn't get to anything of substance in the first 5 minutes, or because he just doesn't like what I have to say? He says, I can't believe you suggest that I didn't understand common sense or Locke's treatises. Yes, I did state that, Tom, but more specifically, I'm questioning whether you read them. Period. People may not like that, may get upset at me for saying that, but I have a right to question that, especially after I've read this book. And if other people haven't read this book and get upset with me for doing it, well, you need to read it first. But I would not recommend it at all if you're looking for truth. This is a corruption. And it's pathetic. Then he says, regarding your question of how my philosophy differs from that of the New World Order, I'm not questioning how your philosophy differs from that of the New World Order. I am questioning why you are right and they are wrong. But here's what he said. I'm not even going to give his specific examples because there's no point. The specifics don't matter. Here's what he said. The New World Order believes blah, 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 period. He says, I do not agree with this. Okay, you don't agree with it. Well, the New World Order doesn't agree with you, so who's right and who's wrong? He does this repeatedly. The New World Order believes this other thing. I don't agree with him on that. Who cares? Who cares if you don't agree with them? I'm asking why you are right and they're wrong. And he doesn't get to it. Okay, and what he wants to do, again, like I've said before, is assume that prosperity is a good thing, assume it's right, without ever defining why it's right for people to prosper. This is the line of reasoning he goes down, and it's a waste of time. That's why this is the last episode I'm doing on this. It's a waste of my time. I did it because I gave my word I would do it. He's even complaining on here that I didn't put this on paper. Tom Mullen has never responded to things I have put on paper. What difference would it make? If I put this on the internet, he'd still just ignore it like he's always done. I think what's angering him more is that I've got this out on YouTube where anybody can look it up, and he doesn't like that. Well, sorry, Tom, if you don't like it, I am going to seek out the truth. I'm not about money. I will offer all my stuff for free. I'm not going to charge people a dime. If somebody wants to send me a donation, people have donated money to continue for me to speak and do things like that, but I don't charge people anything for what I do. The Bible says to buy the truth and never sell it in Proverbs, and that's exactly what I do. So he says that when he gives that list, he says this is no means an exhaustive list, and he says the exhaustive list is in my book. Tom, that is a great adjective. Your book is best described as not just retarded, like I said in the last one, and I gave the definitions for retarded and stupid. It's exhaustive. That's correct. I agree with that. Your book is exhaustive. He says, now listen to this carefully. This is the one I want to get to. I don't believe, stop right there. He doesn't believe about what he's about to say. That doesn't mean it's fact. He just doesn't believe it. Now listen to this. I don't believe that there is anything in my book that misinterprets or misrepresents anything in the philosophy of Locke, Jefferson, Paine, or later writers or thinkers that he quotes in his book. He doesn't believe that there is. Okay, all he does is ignore everything. I've put, in the first and second episode, I put the quotes right on the screen for you guys to read for yourself that directly contradict what he's saying in his book. He doesn't believe it because he ignores it. Either he didn't actually look at all the videos that I show. He probably just looked at a couple of them and then just ran from there. That's all he did. He didn't actually go in to listen carefully to the arguments that I was making in here. Okay? Now he says he doesn't have time to do it. Well, I don't have time for things either. But if people request information of me, I certainly make time to give it to them because I'm trying to help people to know the truth. But again, to him, his time is of value to him because it's only if it's worth money. If somebody were paying him to do this, then he would be happy to do it. But that's because his philosophy is built on money, not about the truth. And that goes for a lot of other people. It's not, guys, I'm not just picking on Tom Mullen. A lot of people in this so-called liberty movement, when they claim they're fighting for liberty, it's more about money than it is about liberty. Let's see here. I think that's about all I wanted to cover on this. I thought there was one more thing. He says, I hope you will take these words to heart and cease to insult me by suggesting that I lie to my readers. Tom, I'm not suggesting that you lie to your readers. I'm telling you you're lying to your readers, and I'm telling everybody else that he's lying to you. He is lying. And I'm not insulting him. To insult is to give rudeness. Okay, let's say somebody were breaking into your home, okay, and when you woke up and heard them breaking into your house, you yell, "Thief!" Are you insulting them? No, you're just giving the observation and the truth. That's what he's doing. He's a thief. He's breaking into your home. Well, that's exactly what Tom Mullins is doing. I'm telling you, he's lying, and I've demonstrated it in episode 1 and 2, and I'm demonstrating it here in episode 3. And he calls them ad hominem attacks. Tom, you need to understand what an ad hominem attack is. Ad hominem attack is where you attack someone's character in order to defer from the argument, just like where, the atheist would say, well, what, you don't think that it's right for people to prosper, is attacking the character of the person to defer from the question. Okay? And what an ad hominem attack does is moves the argument away and tries to get the person making an argument on the defense when the person who is making the ad hominem attack knows that they don't have an answer for what's coming. Tom, I didn't make an ad hominem attack at all. And anybody can go back and look at my things. I opened my episode 1 by complimenting Tom Mullen.